Today I'm going to be talking about how to mount your horse safely and correctly. We mount our horses every day that we ride, and we want to be doing it in a way that's safe for us and easy for them. So I'm going to be using a mounting block throughout this session because it's the healthiest for my horse's back, but stay tuned to the end of this video and I'm going to give you a tip for mounting your horse from the ground. So there's three areas that I'm going to be covering as we go to mount our horse, and I'm lined up to my block here. The first one is holding your rein and mane. So how I like to do this is I take my rein like this, I take my pointer finger, run it down, and just hold on to the mane just like this with my fist facing up. Now, a couple common mistakes that I see with people getting on their horse in this area is that they can have one rein really long like this, and if your horse were to walk forward, he could step in that and end up in an accident. And the other common mistake I see is that the rein is just completely slack, and if you go to get on your horse like this, if he does decide to leave, it's going to take you a long time to gather that rein. You could end up falling off or having an injury. So you want to make sure that you've got your rein organized and you're holding that rein and mane. So the second area is where to stand to get on, and I like to be able to stay nice and close to my horse. So I'm taking my left foot, I'm going to put my toe facing my horse's nose, keep my hip close to him. And this way, if he goes to move or, too quickly, I can just easily slip my foot out and set it back down again. The common mistake that I see in this is that people, I've seen people go to mount like this with their knee facing the saddle. And if the horse were to go to move here, you could end up being, falling backward. So you're much more stable in this position. So number three is getting on. Now, to get on the horse, you want to be setting the middle of your hand, your palm right in the middle of your saddle, and you're going to be pushing up like this and swinging your leg over. So you're bearing some weight down with your right hand. The common mistake that I see with this is that I've seen people go to pull themselves up into the saddle, so they're grabbing the back of the cantle like this and pulling up to swing that leg over. You can see it's a little harder for me to get my leg over, and I'm also putting a lot of pressure on the horse's back. So instead, I want to think about just pressing down, swing over in one smooth, soft motion that's easy on my horse's back. Now that we know how to mount our horse using a mounting block, let's talk about how to mount from the ground. This is a great skill to have if you're out on trail and there's no mounting block around and you need to be able to get on your horse. So the first tip is this does take more strength than getting on from a block. So you want to make sure that you have the strength to be able to do it. If not, you can practice being able, even just taking your mounting block and stepping up and down on it. Murphy's a little bored here with me. Just stepping up and down like that on the block is a really good way to help start strengthening up your leg for doing this. So to do this, we're going to do it in the same way that we did with the mounting block. Another tip for you, if you are riding in an English saddle and you're having trouble getting your foot up into the stirrup, you can drop your stirrups down like that. When I go to get on him, I'm going to hold on to my mane here. I'm going to be using my left hand to help pull me up a little bit. So I'm going to hop up, push up like that. And then if Murphy goes to leave, I'm just going to walk him up and stop him. Good boy. All right, and then once you're up there, you can adjust your leather. So I hope this helps you if you are just starting to be able to mount your horse. And I hope these tips make it easier and safer for you. I hope you keep enjoying your horses over this next week, and I'll see you in the next video.